off and pay my respects to this man that lost his life. Um, Really, totally inexplicable on so many levels. After I read the story in the article with you to you, I will break down what is totally unnecessary or just hard to comprehend. But I pray that this man he's a good person. I pray that the Most High judge him for his righteousness and his deeds. And if he was a not so good person, I pray that the Most High have mercy upon him. In either regards, I pray that the Most High has mercy, but especially in the latter. Even though people don't think you should pray for them, it's like, what do you have to lose to say something for somebody who that the one thing they probably need is mercy? So, because they can get nothing else in this world but God. So, we're going to read this article, and I was totally blown away. When I say totally blown away, I was totally blown away. Um, it's actually really hard to believe that it happened. When you read it, you really just can't understand why is this happening to this dude. You know. So, however, this was reported about 11 hours ago, and this man you're looking at is Mr. Jason E. Washington. I mean no disrespect to anyone's family, anything like that. I mean to bring this to the forefront so that way more black men like this man don't fall victim to what I have already called it white anger. And if you give them an excuse, no matter what color these guys are, they were trained by a white man from a white system. So this is why people sometimes will confuse the violence of the nature of the police and then the color of the police. But it's like that's not that's not as much important as if you practice Taoism and the things you do are Taoist, then you're going to be seen as somebody who is a Taoist. It doesn't matter. So let's rock with this. Says a man fatally shot outside a sports bar by Portland State University campus police. Friday night was a U.S. Navy veteran and the father of three who was trying to break up a fight, report said. Jason E. Washington, 45, listen to that, 45 years old, y'all, a U.S. Postal Service worker from Portland, Oregon, was a licensed gun owner with a concealed carry permit, Oregon Public Broadcasting reported. But Washington's gun dropped when he intervened in a fight that began inside the bar. That began inside the bar, moved outside, witnesses told OPB. The fight reportedly began over a racial slur. Cell phone footage shows a gun slipping away from Washington in the middle of the scuffle. Officers can be heard shouting, "Drop the gun," several times before firing their weapons. Witnesses' accounts differed on how the scene unfolded. Kiera Smith, who filmed the encounter, told OPB that Washington was trying to be a good Samaritan. The gun slipped out of the holster when he had fallen, and I think he may have tried to retrieve it, Smith said. Adding to that, officers began firing as soon as they saw the weapon. There was absolutely no hesitation at all, she said. But Donald Dietz, 25, an employee at the sports bar, claimed that the officers warned Washington first. They warned him multiple times not to reach for it, but he did, Dietz said. People think they were overzealous, but they had to do it. You listen to that word choice? But they had to do it. The two responding campus police officers were identified as Sean McKenzie and James Dewey. Did these sound like black people to you? Okay. Do they sound like Mexican people to you? They sound like Asians to you. Okay. Both men were sworn in officers. Both men became sworn in officers in 2016, 2 years after Portland State University began allowing campus police to carry firearms. The officers have been placed on paid administrative leave. The Oregonian reported. Portland University State released a statement saying it would not be releasing further information for the time being. Multiple agencies are investigating the fatal shooting. Now, I'm just going to leave it here on this man. I'm going to look at this man while I break down the first part of my mind of major discrepancy. First major discrepancy above everything is that this man at 45 is at a sports bar and he's become involved in a scuffle. It's one thing I don't like. Another thing I don't like is that it's campus security police officers. Now, a lot of you are like, why is that your first beef? My first beef is because it's up to us to discern when we can or when we can't help. And the reason why I say that is because, did you hear what the dude Dietz said? Dietz? Let's read what Dietz said. Is that Dietz or Dietz? Yeah, Dietz. I don't know what the hell. I don't know how the hell to say this dude's name. Dietz, we're gonna say though. Fuck it. And I guess Dietz was wrong. They warned him multiple times not to reach for it, but he did. People think they were overzealous, but they had to do it. Listen to that. That is so precise of saying that he posed a threat to the officers by simply retrieving his own weapon and not making it to where another person could possibly go for the gun. Is this not reality? How can you drop a gun that's already on the ground? This is why Dietz, what he just said, or Dietz, and the so-called story of drop the gun several times before firing the weapon, it makes no sense. Because for you to say that they had to do it is an implication that Mr. Washington posed some form of a threat to them. So with that said, if the woman who sounds like a black woman, Kiera, she could be white. She could be a white girl because they be having names like that too. Kiera Smith. So Kiera says that is not what happened. He was trying to be a good person. I don't know biblically if Samaritans were actually truly good people, but we're not going to worry about that. What I will say is that it's awkward because she says like this, I think he may have tried to retrieve it. The officers began firing as soon as they saw the weapon. There was absolutely no hesitation at all. Stop. Stop. Right there. That tells you everything. That tells you everything. There's a discrepancy in the fact that there's a drop the gun. There's a fact that, listen, if I'm trying to retrieve it, if I'm trying to retrieve the gun, I can't be trying to retrieve it and not already have. I either have it in my possession, okay, or I'm going for the gun. Now, if he was going for the gun and they're just saying drop the gun, well, anybody could say that and blast you. And especially if they're in a position where no one can be seen, because if her phone has been confiscated, and this report may not be able to say that, but let's say her phone has been confiscated, obviously for evidence, right? Man, you guys, this is so deep. This right here is a for sure tragedy, and it may not get the press that it deserves. This is a black man to me. You guys can be like, he looks biracial or whatever. He looks like a black man to me with a shaved head and a shaved face. Brother man, trying to do the right thing, and they killed him. They killed him. They killed him, y'all. Just 2 years ago, they started to allow these police to carry weapons and firearms. So just understand this. Even though guys can be like, well, this is the first shooting or the whatever shooting, there were no shootings ever before by the campus police, ever. They had to physically get involved. Now, understand this right here. You give them guns, They have guns. This man is 45 years old. He's not 24 years old or 25. Over over liquored up, who was brazenly shooting his gun in places. And he wasn't. This man wasn't. He didn't accost anyone anything. And because he was simply attempting to do what was a positive thing, it cost him ultimately everything that he had. If that's not a crime, I don't know what is. Now, once again, these men are on paid administrative leave. That's, to me, that's an assassination, because not only did I kill you, but I'm still getting paid and I killed you. You shouldn't be able to be paid after you kill somebody as a police officer off tops, because you're being paid tax dollars. So presumptuously, if the person has family and they're taxpayers, they're paying you even though you killed their family member. And this is why it's backwards. However, because you have people who can't perceive these things, and these are small things within the situation, they will point out the larger frame technicalities that are obviously at odds with the system. But there are too many people who don't look at just the smaller things. Why? Okay, you can say, okay, this campus officers are the closest thing to a police force or whatever in the given area. I'll take that. What is the training that these guys are receiving that they shoot a man? And there's already a discrepancy in the reported events that's online. If you read it and you can discern, listen, once again, let's just overlook it one more time so that way you get it. He's a Navy veteran. Number one, he has a concealed pistol. He has a concealed carry permit. Number two, so you're telling me that this man didn't say I'm licensed at all? At all. Didn't say I'm a veteran? Well, that means what the young lady said, Miss Kiera Smith, lines more up that they rolled right up and just killed him. Because if you are a person who has the time to make a decision, as far as, you know, being able to discern that, to tell someone to drop the gun, right? For a man saying, I have a carry permit, that changes everything, because he's not the threat. You can't tell that man to drop. You actually don't. This is what people don't understand. They don't have the authority to tell you to do that. They actually do not. So for them to have rolled up on the man, as they have said right now, it would be like if the cops were on the street and they heard a disturbance and then they seen you in your front yard and you had your gun out. And they're like, drop the gun. They're not warranted to say that to you, because they haven't even discerned what the situation is and who's actually involved. The gun could have fallen out for many of different reasons. He could have been a patron who was being moved by the crowd of people involved in the fight, and the gun fell and he was trying to retrieve it once again before someone else with nefarious intentions could. So this is why the whole objective nonsense that a person will tell you of drop the gun or they had to do it, people think they were overzealous. So this is one guy who's placated the argument that what they did was okay. And once again, a woman, it takes the woman to say what really happened. Why? Because women have natural wisdom bred into them. So, and I'm not kissing chicks' ass because I go in on chicks, but this is just one of those things that I know about women. So the natural wisdom of the woman dictated in her mind, discerned in her mind, that these people took no time to actually evaluate the situation. And what did they do? They took his life. Okay, now I want to keep going down and just keep, because I got to keep breaking this shit down so you really get it. Because there's something to be learned from it. Black people, mind your business. Let me repeat myself again. Look at this man. Look at this man. And God forbid if he had a little facial hair and some of his hair grown on his head, God forbid, and he was looking like a real brother, or he just hadn't cut his hair in a little bit and it was easy to tell he was black. And you know, because in a picture like this, somebody might be like, well, he looks Mexican or he looks what? That's a brother. Believe that. Believe that. It's a brother. And the craziest part is this. is that once again, he's 45. So it's not like he's a spring chicken. He's not old. He's still, young in other terms, but he's an older man. So the fact that there's no discernment unless he looked, this youthful to them when they seen him. But if there was any sign of this man does not, once again, I can't see how two people can pull up, tell you to drop the gun, right? And knew that you posed an immediate threat, but another person says that they had to do it, right? They had to do it. Listen, they warned him multiple times not to reach for it, but he did. That's a discrepancy. If I was a lawyer right now for this man's family, I would be smashing on the police department, smashing on them. Me by myself as a regular man, I would just look up all the legal documentation that I need to present these things to the proper authorities, bro, and I still be smashing on them. Black people, there is a lesson to be learned in this tragedy, because this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy. There is nothing good about this at all. It's horrible. It's horrible. And it's just amazing that you have the fact that this dude is sitting here. Once again, he's done nothing to nobody, bothered no one, done shit to no one. 1 second. So, I don't know, y'all. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I was going through some changing over screen nonsense and doing this and doing that. However, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Can somebody tell me how that makes sense, y'all? He's 45, veteran, licensed to carry. On top of everything else, he's licensed to have this gun. So he didn't have to be a veteran. He could just be a regular okey doke Joe. He's licensed to have this gun. Right on. You can't take some. Once again, I just went. I go to court on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure the dude's not gonna. I'm almost positive the cop's not gonna show up. They almost never do. If he does show up, I've already got it ready. The motion to terminate. Blase, 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 blase. However, this guy, right here, man. Can y'all get this? This dude is a grown ass man. He's not a little boy with a gun. He understands what guns do to people. So where's the Deets guys level of discernment to say, you know what, that was wise for Mr. Washington to attempt to retrieve the weapon. Maybe unwise that he got involved in the scuffle in the first place, but it was wise that once he realized that the weapon had been displaced from his persons, that he actually made the conscious decision to retrieve the weapon. God forbid somebody picked up the gun and started shooting the gun and started shooting other people. He'd be charged with that as a crime. Right. So this is the part where they can say that, but that shit doesn't line up. Then you got this Deets character, right, who's like, yo, they had to do it. Does anybody get that? Can anybody tell me right now how this isn't? I mean, once again, y'all, people want to say this white supremacy word. I don't believe in that. I can't tell you that somebody I know that I'm more intelligent than, I'm physically dominant over, is supreme to me. So I'm not going to say that. What I will say is that the anger of the white man, the fact that this black man had a gun, had it legally, is what pissed them off. Once again, it's not a supremacy thing. It's an anger thing. They have the tide of the system for right now. That's nothing. That's nothing, because even while they've had to tie to the system, they're still the majority of the victims of their own nefarious activities. So I take what I take with a grain of salt. But I'm telling y'all right now, black men who are going to watch this, mind your business. Mind your business. That's what they told me. This is what they told me before trying to swell up on me 10 cops deep last Friday. Okay? And another 5 on bikes. Mind your business is what I told him that the punk ass cop that said to me a couple of weeks ago. He says to me, that's what you ought to do then. Sell your hot dogs. You know what? For a second, I was super duper pissed off. Hot, steaming, Willie fucking beaming. But as I came to my better mind, I said, you know what, Meech? This is what you have to do. You have to mind your business. Because this is what's going to happen. Let me show you guys this dude one more time so you understand. This is what's going to happen to you. Carrying a gun, legal or not. If you give these motherfuckers the chance, they're going to kill you. And that's what's going to happen. And you can be like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. Look, dude. This guy was reaching for a gun. Okay? Reaching. It wasn't like it was on his persons. Look at this dude one more time. I want y'all to really take a good look at this man. He's gone and gone forever. He's not coming back. This dude is not coming back. I'm gonna think y'all really respect what I'm trying to say right now. You feel me? This is as big as Eric Gardner, Philando Castile. This is all. Once again, I always laugh because I always know things before they happen, and then people don't really catch wind. Like, for example, there was a brother in Texas a few months back. Matter of fact, like, it was like a week after Stephon Clark had got killed, okay? Like 1 week after, it was a brother named Danny Ray Thomas. This Texas cop shot him one time in his chest, blasted him in his chest, fatal shot, killed him. This man had his pants wrapped around his ankles because he had just gotten into a physical altercation with another person. Now, the cop tried to say that the man was aggressing him. Now, how dangerous can this dude be with his pants wrapped around his ankles and everything? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how fast can he move? How dangerous is this man really for you to shoot him in his chest? Danny Ray Thomas got none of the publicity that Stephon Clark got, because Stephon Clark got shot and night, even though Danny Ray Thomas got shot in the broad day. I guess because Stephon Clark was in his grandparents' yard, right? Or because Danny Ray Thomas was a brother who was capable of growing a beard like this man. So this might just get swept under the rug, you know, because Philando Castile was never supposed. All these dudes that y'all have ever heard about were never supposed to make the news. You need to understand that. They were not supposed to make the news. This might not gain any kind of traction. So I want to bring it to you as a brother who's supposed to tell you this kind of stuff, because I see a lot of things that I should say something about that I don't always say something about. That going forward, I will. Whenever I see a little something, you know, because I'm about to close this out because I got to do my stuff for tonight. So I'm going to take a little nap. So I'm going to probably yap off for another 10 minutes about this. But the problem is that you have a man who, if this is him at 45, he didn't look 45, looks youthful. Okay? And he's black with a gun. He's a threat. They were scared for their fucking lives. 2 little coward-ass cops. And they shot and killed this man. And now they're on paid administrative leave for an assassination. A successful assassination. Black people should never go to this sports bar that this man was killed at. I don't go to bars anyway. I don't do that shit anyway. But you understand what I'm saying? Mind your business when you're out and about. It's got nothing to do with you. Unless you've got the drop, the flank, left and right, okay? And you got your own 6, you don't get involved. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you. Otherwise, it's going to get you killed. It's going to cost you way too much. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. But look at this man before I close his picture off for the last time. Look at him. Because I'm looking at his face right now, too. He's gone. 3 kids. The eldest of them probably could possibly be an adult. This dude was a postal worker. He wasn't a suspected drug dealer. If they could have dug up some dirt on him and threw some dirt on him in the shit, they would have, because they took the report of a dude named Dietz who clearly goes against what the cops said. This dude's, his words, his witness testimony might be what actually send these, bruh. If I was a prosecutor, okay, if I was a prosecutor and I wanted to make a name for myself, I would persecute these 2 guys. I would prosecute them to the highest degree of the law of the land, because these 2 men acted in such reckless abandon that now you have once again you have one lady's words who are the closest testimony to what happened, and then another man's words who actually supplement what she said, because he doesn't realize that she said he was trying to retrieve the weapon, not that he had retrieved the weapon, that maybe he was attempting to. So if he's attempting to retrieve, that doesn't mean that he has it. Right. So when they told him multiple times not to reach for it, right, yet they're saying drop the gun, how can you drop something you do not have? Right. Thank you very much, y'all. Once again, no heroic tackle, no kick him in his head before he can get to it and fuck him up and then have to apologize to him later because you find out he's really a good guy. None of that. Nope. Killed him. These guys are not super fucking honky that they put on TV. Can you dig it? They are scared, coward, peckerheads. They don't want none. They don't want none. They don't fucking want none. Never do they want none. I'm the only dude I know on this whole sphere of YouTube who will call a white dude a peckerhead and think nothing about it, and then still carry on talking to white people like a civilized man. These cats don't look. Anyway, y'all, because I'm about to end on out. This man right here is once again evidence as he's another man. This is just like Philando Castile. Only difference is that he was actually trying to get a gun that other people could have used to do damage with, only because he was attempting to do what is perceivably the right thing. Sometimes doing the right thing just isn't the right thing. Please be mindful, y'all. Please be mindful. Because dude didn't do nothing to get killed. He did nothing. All he did was try to help somebody, and it cost him everything. Once again, your favorite guys, well, maybe might talk about this, maybe not, but I'm talking about it because once again, it's important to me, because that could have been me 2 Fridays ago when the cops came to come serve me with the temporary extreme risk protection order. You see what I'm saying? That could have been me shot the fuck up with who knows how many bullets at a hot dog stand. And I wouldn't be fucking giving this video to you. All right? My family would be boohooing still. Like his family's boohooing right now. So don't disrespect the message. You understand me? However, I thank you for your time. I salute you. I pray for this man's family. Pray for this man's soul. Pray for retribution for the wicked. Pray that the vengeance is placed upon their head 7-fold.